Alright, the turkey's all been marinated. It was set out here in the refrigerator. Now, I don't know what she marinades it with. They're from Lebanon. There's all kinds of nice looking spices on top of it. Looking in the marinade bowl, it feels like they used olive oil and about every spice you could think of on it. We did one last year and it tasted great. And now I'm going to take it out and put it in my natural wood smoker and cook it for 5 hours or more. It takes a long time to cook them. That's why it'll be dark when I get out there, so that it'll be done in time for the dinner. Alright, it's 7 o'clock. The turkey's going in. It's still dark here in Michigan. It's looking good. Now I'll take some of the marinade and top. So I'm not going to put it all on right now. A little later. And in my old age, this lid is a little too heavy. But now I'm at 250, and hopefully it'll be done in about 5 or 6 hours. We did it for about 8 hours, but I was trying to do it at 225 to 230 last year on the temperature. And I'll grab the camera and come around. All right, I put one large chunk. I've got some coals going now. I started this up about an hour ago, and the air temperature inside's okay. Got up there, and now it's just a matter of hours of waiting. It'll be daylight in probably about an hour before it'll be daylight to where the camera will work right. But we're going to have us some nice natural wood smoked turkey. Okay, it's been just over an hour. And it's looking good. Not too dry. Now, set up the apples around it, help keep the humidity going. It's a windy day, so I don't know how this is going to sound. Now, that might be a little too hot. I didn't even bring my gloves, so I'll get the poker out. Move that apple back. Alright. Now, these are pure Michigan apples. Indian summer apple cider from Michigan. Now I loaded it up with a little apple cider to keep the humidity up so it doesn't dry out the turkey too much. And it's looking good. I had been throwing an apple inside the turkey, but I didn't get it. But I'll set these on here. We'll have some nice baked apples. And there's still a little bit of the marinade in the shed, or the cabin shed. Now, when it starts to cook a little more, it gets a little drier, I'll probably put the rest of the marinade over it. and then cover it with some tin foil to help keep it moist until the cooking's finished. But I'm getting a little old to be lifting this heavy top, so I guess I'm going to have to put a better ballast weight on it. Oh, almost forgot the get the temperature back adjusted upright, which probably leave it alone because it had dropped to 300. Now if you notice up here, a lot of times in these videos they'll show smoke just bellowing out the top. Well, the smoke you see bellowing out the top normally is when they first fire it up and you got a lot of steam coming off of it, because when you have a heavy metal smoker that's 3/8 or better on this one, when you first fire them up they sweat a lot, and you have to wait until all the steam comes out before you start your cooking. But it'll come around here, open up the firebox, give you a look inside. Whoop. See that just barely a smoldering fire. Looks like it's time to throw another heavy log on there to make sure that it doesn't slow down the cooking any. Okay, I've got the temperature brought back up to where it should be. With the extra apple cider in there for the humidity, it's steam, along with the smoke, there's steam coming out. And I've got this thing set up out. I'll swing around here. There's my kitchen window. I can look right out the kitchen window, and usually I can read that thermometer that's on there. Now here's a little tip. All those old sunflowers that the birds pick the seeds out before you get to eat them, and you got that big sunflower that you have to compost, set it right next to the door and use it to clean your feet off. It's a whole lot cheaper than buying one of them brush things to keep at the door. And you just save a few of them, and you got something to get the mud off your feet before you go in your cabin or you're in your home. All right, I'm in the cabin. I've emptied the marinade out into a little bowl, and when it comes time to cover it with a little foil to keep it a little wet, I'll baste the rest of that marinade over the top of the turkey. In the background there, you can see one of my fancy honey jars where I let the bees put the comb right in the jar. I've also got another one up here in one of them amber jars. It probably can't, you can get a little sight of it, but not much. Well, some of these guys got lucky. They didn't get in it. We only did 2 of our own turkeys this year so far. Might do one. We might take one more out. And then the chickens, it don't matter how much feed they got in there. You go to throw something in and they're all over it. Well, I'm not going to check it at 2 hours. I'm going to wait probably till it's been in there 3 hours. I've got plenty of steam coming out. That's mostly steam because there's very little smoke comes out of there when it's only smoke. So my apple cider that I put in that pan is probably still working. I got a reasonably good temperature. It's just a little higher than 250. So I'm gonna wait a while. I figured the neighbor will probably pop over here in a little bit and want to take a peek at it. I don't think it's gonna, dry out if I don't add the rest of the marinade and the sauce to it and cover it. Okay, looks like it's getting a little dark now, so I'm gonna cover it. Okay, photo on it. The apples are burnt. Now, the wood I use is ash because we had an ash borer problem, and I've got plenty of ash. It's a member of the maple family, and it does well to where that you don't get that bitter smoke flavor if you're trying to, like if you tried to do this with all hickory or something, you would get a kind of a bitter flavor if you didn't cover it in foil fast enough. You can pretty much cook all the way through. It's got the little bit of maple in there. Gives it a nice smoke flavor. And two, on poultry, normally on a cooker like this, you go at 225. But when you're doing poultry, you add about 25 degrees to that in order to, what do they call it, the lethality for your salmonella and that. You want to get it up to 140 degrees internal temperature a lot quicker than you do with pork or beef. Well, it's done. When you're smoking turkeys, you don't get that Norman Rockwell golden brown. You get that about halfway through. And if I swing out around here, we had like a little blizzard a few minutes ago. So I'm getting in there and getting out of this weather. Now, on the top there where it got hot, I've got a little bit of old peanut oil that I brushed the top of this so it doesn't rust. And it makes it, keeps it a little cleaner. But it's ready to go.